Local 44 News starts now with your forecast first.
Good Friday night, everyone. After a cloudy and rainy start today, those clear skies have returned for us in the Champlain Valley, and temperatures are falling. A lot of us are already in the 50s. We're going to see even some upper 40s out there as we wake up early tomorrow morning, but right near 54 degrees in St. Jay and Newport, 56 currently in Bennington, right near 50 in Saranac Lake. We had all that rainfall. It's now shifted off towards our east. Most of that rain in portions of Maine. I am still going to time out, though, a few showers as we head into the latter part of your weekend. So we'll take a look at that timeline in just a few minutes. Local 44 News starts right now.
You're watching local news that matters. This is Local 44 News at 10.
Well, good evening and thanks for being here. I'm Jolie Sherman, in for Lauren Maloney tonight. Senators from our region are calling out the Biden administration for extending restrictions at the Canadian border. Local 44's Basil John reports as lawmakers say the change needs to happen.
I think it's an outrage.
New York Democratic Senator Kirsten Gillibrand is disappointed travel restrictions at the Canadian border will remain in place at least until October 21st.
We need that border opened for our economy and for families and communities that depend on those borders and cross-border transactions.
Senator Patty Murray says Port Roberts, Washington is especially suffering.
Their local economy depends on Canadian tours, especially since, by the way, the only ferry between Point Roberts and the rest of Washington State is closed because of the pandemic.
In a statement, Republican Congresswoman Elise Stefanik said the prolonged closure is, quote, devastating Northern New York.
The current restrictions do allow air travel between the countries, but the Biden administration says it's not ready to ease border crossings on the ground.
It is a health decision by requiring vaccinations, and we wanted to do it in a way that was equitable.
But New Hampshire Democratic Senator Maggie Hassan says the health rationale doesn't make sense.
Non-vaccinated Canadians who have a negative COVID test can get on a plane and fly to the United States, but vaccinated Canadians, and they have a higher vaccination rate than we do, cannot cross a port of entry into our country.
Lawmakers say they will continue to pressure the president to repeal the restriction next month. Reporting in Washington, I'm Basil John.
Well, in Health Matters tonight, September is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, and the Department of Mental Health and advocacy groups want you to know how to make a difference. As Local 44's Devin Bates reports, it's an important time for everyone to learn about the resources that are available.
We've been more open about it, and we've realized, you know what, we all have mental health, and we all need support.
Lori Emerson is the executive director of the National Alliance on Mental Illness of Vermont and said discussions on mental health and thoughts of suicide can take many forms. A conversation with a friend, visiting a community mental health center, or in a time of crisis, the Suicide Prevention Hotline, 800-273-8255. Emerson said next year there's going to be a new lifeline as well, 988. NAMI Vermont is also pushing for mobile crisis teams in the state.
Let's be able to meet people where they're at to be able to give them the support that they need. And what we really want to do is keep people out of the emergency room to ensure that they're getting the help that they need when they need it.
Alex Rayburn is the Data and Outreach Coordinator for the Vermont Department of Mental Health, which has put a particular focus on helping employers create work environments free of mental health stigma.
There's a lot of opportunities to just really check in and be mindful of where everyone is, how their mental health is being affected, not only by these extreme circumstances we've all been dealing with for the past year and a half or so, but also just to make this a norm.
Emerson also highlighted the importance of support groups. She first got involved with NAMI Vermont by going to meetings with a family member. And even though it might not be a preferred method for some, there can be strength in numbers.
I really felt like I was able to connect with other families who were going through the same experiences I was going through. And we were able to talk to each other very openly and honestly, and sometimes talking with other people other than family is really helpful because they understand what you're going through.
Devin Bates, Local 44 News.
Now to our coronavirus coverage. New York State is facing multiple lawsuits over its vaccine mandate for healthcare workers. As Local 44's Karina Capobianco reports, they come at a time where there are already staffing shortages in the industry.
I believe it's critically important for our healthcare workers to be as healthy as they can before they attend to the health of others.
Monday is the state's deadline for healthcare workers to receive their first dose of the COVID-19 vaccine. While the overwhelming majority of these workers are vaccinated, the mandate has received some legal challenges. One group of medical workers has filed a lawsuit for a religious exemption to the rule. A judge has put a temporary restraining order on the enforcement of the mandate until October 12th, but only for those claiming a religious exemption. Meanwhile, a separate lawsuit has been filed by some members of the New York State Correctional Officers and Police Benevolent Association. They are state hospital security officers who say the mandate violates their constitutional rights. Michael Balboni with the Greater New York Healthcare Facilities Association says while every healthcare agency benefits from all residents and staff being vaccinated, the mandate could further exacerbate staffing shortages. He's calling on officials to come up with an emergency staffing plan.
The deadline brings into sharp focus how prepared the healthcare industry is for this type of potential impact on staffing.
Hochul has said she's prepared to announce a series of initiatives to plan for Monday if need be. The Civil Service Employees Association is also challenging the state and won a court order to temporarily halt the mandate for non-judicial court system workers. In Albany, Karina Capabianca.
Now to the numbers for Friday. In the North Country, 51 new cases in Clinton County. Franklin County is reporting 45 new cases. No new updates from Essex County. 625 new cases and 3 new deaths in New Hampshire. In our region, 35 cases in Grafton County, 32 new cases in Coos County, and 28 in Sullivan. 238 new cases in Vermont. Sadly, 3 deaths to report. 42 of those cases are in Rutland County. 42 people are currently in the hospital, 15 in the ICU. Vermonters 80 and older are able to get their booster shots. And just like the initial shots, Vermont will open eligibility in phases. Those 75 and older can sign up on Monday, followed by those 70 and older Wednesday. Governor Scott and the Department of Health say the state will expand eligibility to people 18 to 64 with underlying medical conditions next Friday. We asked Deputy Health Commissioner Kelly Doherty what the Department of Health plans to do for that group.
We're not prepared to release any information on occupations until after we get through these first initial age groupings. And then also the other consideration was the high-risk health conditions.
Governor says Vermonters can expect to see statewide clinics return for these booster shots. We're still waiting to see what high-risk conditions would qualify. In safety matters, 3 people were sent to the hospital this morning following an incident with bear spray at the Fairfield Inn in Williston. It happened just before 10:30. We're told 4 employees were having trouble breathing. An investigation revealed someone left a can of bear spray behind in one of the hotel rooms. The can was accidentally sprayed by housekeeping on the hotel's 2nd floor. Officials say the spray got into the ventilation system and spread to the entire hotel. All 30 people inside at the time were evacuated. The Plattsburgh Police Department is partnering with the New York Attorney General's office for a community gun buyback. They're looking for assault rifles, handguns, shotguns, and even guns that no longer work. You will get a prepaid gift card for your firearm right on site. The buyback is on Tuesday at the Crete Memorial Civic Center from 11 to 2 p.m. And it's important to note if you bring a gun to the drop-off site, it must be unloaded and placed in a bag or a box. Burlington police have arrested 2 people involved in firing shots at the skate park last night. It happened just after midnight. Witnesses say 2 groups got into an argument leading up to the gunshots. An 18 and 19-year-old, both well known to police, were charged with previous crimes from a separate incident. Police are still investigating what happened. They say it's the 13th gunfire incident in Burlington this year. Now, Essex police are looking for whoever stole the Black Lives Matter flag from the Hiawatha Elementary School Wednesday night. They say the person cut the flag from the flagpole. So far, security footage hasn't given the cops any leads. But if you know anything, call Essex Police. The Vermont State Supreme Court says a Vermont couple cannot be prosecuted in state court for drug violations, with evidence seized by a U.S. Border Patrol agent. In a 3-2 decision, the court said the federal law used to search the Vermont car just south of the Canadian border in August 2018 did not comply with the state constitutional guarantee against unreasonable searches. The decision sends the criminal cases against Brandy Lena Butterfield and Philip Walker Brazy, both of Richford, back to the lower court for reconsideration. Well, next stop, Burlington. Coming up, progress being made at the waterfront as the Queen City prepares for Amtrak service.
And after those warmer temperatures yesterday, tonight's lows are going to feel really nice. We're going to be in the 50s and even 40s in a few spots. I'll time out what your weekend forecast is shaping up like coming up.
Local news that matters on Local 44 News. Local news that matters on Local 44 News.
Well, in transportation matters, the area of College Street near the Burlington waterfront has reopened after repairs to the railroad tracks. Work on the tracks began in July as the Queen City looks to welcome Amtrak's Ethan Allen Express. Amtrak service returned to the Green Mountain State in mid-July for the first time since the pandemic began. While College Street is back open, construction is continuing around the Echo Leahy Center. Construction crews will still be working on the waterfront bike path, so if you're a cyclist or pedestrian, be aware of any detours. If you take the bus in Plattsburgh, be prepared for some upcoming fare changes. Clinton County Public Transit has announced some increases for bus fares and passes. Starting January 1st, the city fare zone will no longer be used. All fares on buses will now be $2 for passengers and $1 for students and seniors. Day passes are also increasing for passengers, up from $4 to $5. They will still be $2 for students and seniors. CCPT says these changes are to help make the system easier for new riders to understand. Embracing the cultures of the world on campus. Coming up, how students at Norwich University are celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month.
And we ended our day today with some sunshine. We could start the weekend with some sunshine, but I'm also going to time out a few shower chances you may want to keep your eyes on. I'll have a look at that coming up.
Local news that matters on Local 44 News. Now, meteorologist Dylan DeBruin with your Sky Tracker forecast.
Good Friday night, everyone. Those pleasant conditions have returned for us. A lot of us are in the 50s right now, close to 60 in Burlington, but you can see a few stars there on our camera on our studio here in Colchester. It's going to be a quiet night tonight. Now, a lot of that rainfall has pivoted its way off towards the east. You can see that still heavy at times in portions of Maine, but for us here in the North Country, we're looking a-okay out there. Now, rainfall totals, we saw a lot of it in a short period of time, around 1.5 inches, close to it in Plattsburgh, close to 2 inches down in Bennington in the last 24 hours, I should say. And those temperatures behind this frontal system have fallen quite a bit. We're right near 50 degrees in Saranac Lake, 62 in Highgate, and around 53 in Middlebury. Same deal down towards Keene and Springfield. You're also in the 50s. Now, those winds were very breezy to start today. They're now fairly light. They're still mainly out of the south, around 5 to 10 miles per hour through tonight, but we're a lot more comfortable. With these dew points, though, in the 40s and lower 50s, as those get closer to our actual air temperature, we're going to watch that possibility for some patchy fog developing, and that could reduce visibility. So if you're headed out late tonight, early tomorrow morning, just keep that in mind. It is going to be at least a sunny start to the weekend, along with some cooler temperatures, which is actually falling closer to where we should be for this time of year. As we move through tonight and into tomorrow morning, we're going to be kind of sandwiched in between two storm systems. This front that's going to stall off towards our east, and then another system approaching from the west. So through tonight, any cloud cover that's still out there should diminish. I think a lot of us are just going to be mostly clear through tonight. That's going to help those temperatures to fall back even more. In the Champlain Valley, I think we're in the lower 50s, but upper 40s not out of the question for higher terrain in the Adirondacks and the Northeast Kingdom. Here's our setup tomorrow. This frontal system is going to stall a little bit, so we could still see a few spot showers in New Hampshire, but mainly a sunny forecast for us here in the Green Mountain State and the North Country in New York. Through the afternoon hours, you can see that cloud cover increasing a little bit in New Hampshire, maybe a spot shower up towards Grafton County, but it's a fairly nice start to the weekend before that second disturbance rolls in, and most of those rainfall totals stay well off towards our east. For tomorrow, temperatures will be right near the mid to lower 70-degree mark with those dew points in the 50s. It's going to be a really beautiful start to the weekend. Into Sunday, a few afternoon showers are possible as this second frontal system moves through. That's going to bring some more shower chances into Monday, but it's not a washout. They're looking very isolated in nature, so maybe just keep the rain gear on standby in your car if you have any outdoor plans Sunday and into Monday, but looking like a nice fall forecast. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, all looking dry and sunny, along with temperatures actually slightly cooler than average in the mid to lower 60s as we move into Tuesday and Wednesday. Those overnight lows also going to be in the 40s, so enjoy the fall-like weather. It is here to stay. If you want the latest look on that forecast, you can head over to our website, mychamplainvalley.com, and just click on that weather tab.
Well, Dylan, I would say we really lucked out today with just a little bit of rain and then cloudless skies.
I know. I mean, I woke up this morning and I knew it was going to rain heavy. I didn't think it was going to clear out that quick, but no complaints in my department.
No, and it continues into tomorrow.
Yeah, a nice start to the weekend, so great for any outdoor plans.
Well, thank you so much, Dylan.
Yes.
Coming up, House Democrats have passed a bill protecting abortion rights nationwide. Why Republicans are calling the bill hypocritical.
Local news that matters on Local 44 News. local news that matters on Local 44 News.
Well, it's Hispanic Heritage Month, and while Vermont has generally a low population of Hispanic people, Local 44's Courtney Kramer spoke with students and staff at Norwich University who are embracing different cultures on campus.
Spanish culture and pride is on full display at Norwich University. With chalk in hand, students marked Hispanic Heritage Month by marking sidewalks on campus with flags, phrases, and other artwork that represents their traditions.
All of us, we all come from different walks of life, and I think it's really important to celebrate that. I think it's something that makes us all really unique.
It's not very common for us to celebrate, especially like in school in Vermont, which is like, we don't see much of this.
It's no secret Vermont isn't home to a large Hispanic population, which can be tough for some students. For Tanya Garcia, the visual display of culture makes her feel more comfortable at her home away from home.
I'm Mexican and I'm just like coming to the school far away from home. I feel like I don't belong here, but then I see like other people like from all over the place and like from all the place in the U.S. So just seeing all the flags and colorful drawings just makes me feel more homey, cozy here.
It's a big reason why Dr. Caitlin Thomas has been doing this with students for 3 years now.
To have a space where students can create something like this that is so bright and big and at a very central point on our campus, lots of traffic, lots of people walking through, it creates a lot of visibility. It makes it very well known that it's a part of our campus community and, more broadly speaking, part of our Vermont community. Even if it's a low number, it's still important people that are part of our community. 125 Norwich students identify as Hispanic or Latino.
There's a lot to be offered from Spanish-speaking heritage, and I hope in Vermont in years we'll see, in population, we'll see more of a resurgence of it.
Bringing FDR's vision into the 21st century. Coming up, the new organization Senator Chuck Schumer wants to create to fight climate change.
Local news that matters on Local 44 News. Local 44 News starts now with your forecast first.
Good Friday night, everyone. The clear skies have returned for us, but that is also helping us out in the temperature department. We're a lot cooler out there compared to 24 hours ago, 59 degrees in Burlington. Many of us are actually close to the upper 40s. We're right near 50 in Saranac Lake, now 51 degrees in Newport. 54 degrees for you down in Springfield. So we had a lot of heavy rainfall to start our day today. That transitioned to some sunshine, and we're looking at some sunshine to also start the weekend. But I'm going to time out a few shower chances in your extended forecast coming up in just a few minutes. Local 44 News continues now.
You're watching local news that matters. This is Local 44 News at 10:30.
This half hour, John King served the Burlington Police Department for more than half a century. He retired this morning. King worked as Deputy Chief of Police and later as Burlington's parking director. Fellow officers, the mayor, and other friends celebrated with lunch at Battery Park. King also had some advice for folks just joining the force.
Following the ordinances, remember they're humans and use some common sense. And enforcement, ticket, or towing, it should be the last resort. If you can get the car moved, get it moved and let people be happy.
King says now when he hears sirens, he'll always wonder where they're headed. But he looks forward to traveling and spending time with family. Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer was back home in the Empire State today to push for the creation of a civilian climate corps. The idea was inspired by the Civilian Conservation Corps created under the New Deal. This program would be a modernized version that would focus on creating jobs to fight climate change. President Joe Biden and congressional Democrats say the idea is needed now more than ever, especially with recent damaging storms across the country, from New York to California.
People are aware that this is because of human activity, plain and simple, emitting huge amounts of carbon dioxide into the air. So New Yorkers feel in their heart, we New Yorkers have a dramatic sense of urgency to deal with the climate crisis now. Not 2 years from now, not 6 months from now, but now.
The White House has proposed $10 billion for the Climate Corps in its last federal budget plans. Schumer, along with some Democrats, say more will likely be needed. Today, the House passed a bill that would protect access to an abortion and the ability of providers to perform them. Democrats say their bill is in response to the Supreme Court's refusal to block a Texas law banning most abortions. But as Local 44's Anna Warnicki reports, the bill now faces a tough road ahead in the Senate.
Good evening. Today, the House passed the Women's Health Protection Act 218 to 211, with just one lone Democrat from Texas, Henry Cuellar, joining all Republicans to vote against the measure.
It will be the law of the land codified.
House Speaker Nancy Pelosi says the House passed Women's Health Protection Act would make access to abortions a federal law.
This is about women's right to choose, yes. But it's about freedom.
Pelosi says the bill is a direct response to Senate Bill 8, a new Texas law that bans abortions after about 6 weeks and is enforced through civil action, awarding at least $10,000 to anyone who successfully sues someone who aided in an abortion.
A bounty in order to stalk a woman to ensure that the provider and the woman does not get an abortion.
Texas Democratic Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee says the Women's Health Protection Act would end the new Texas abortion law and codify the Supreme Court's 1973 Roe v. Wade decision.
To me, this is a heartbreaking piece of legislation.
But Republicans are united against the bill.
This bill is called the Women's Health Protection Act, but make no mistake, no woman is protected under this bill.
Texas Congresswoman Beth Van Dyne says the Democrats' bill goes too far.
It authorizes killing for the sake of convenience.
Now the bill heads to the Senate, where it's not expected to have the necessary votes to pass. Democrats need 60 votes, and right now Senate Republicans say they don't support it. For now, in Washington, I'm Anna Warnicki. Back to you.
While making sure every student in class is well fed. Coming up, how officials are working to make breakfast and lunch free in every public school in the state.
Local news that matters on Local 44 News. Local news that matters on Local 44 News.
Vermonters want students both fed and focused, which is why activists are working to make breakfast and lunch free in every public school in the Green Mountain State. I met with a few supporters to learn more about this campaign.
Hunger Free Vermont has spent nearly 10 years increasing students' access to nutritional meals at no cost. When the pandemic hit, it heightened this need.
Is just a basic equity issue when it comes to education. Kids cannot learn well if they can't eat well.
So the USDA stepped in, issuing temporary waivers for free school meals, regardless of families' incomes.
The waivers are good through the end of this school year. So this school year, all the way through to June, students will have universal school meals in schools.
But Teddy Wozizak, who's leading the campaign, says when those waivers expire, it's back to the cash registers.
So the campaign is advocating to make the universal school meal system permanent in Vermont.
Last year, their bill made it through the Senate. In January, Wozizak and his colleagues plan to meet with lawmakers again to get it passed.
I remember as a kid buying lunch tickets and did I bring my money? Oh shoot, I didn't.
Jessica Savage is a mother of 2 young children. She says she's glad to see her daughter's school in Burlington work to reduce the stigma around school meals.
Part of what being in the classroom is for these children, and I think I don't know, for my kid especially, she needs that in order to focus on anything else.
Wozizak says he remembers lunchtime being a challenge for him and is determined to change this narrative for K-12 students statewide.
I've been on my own since I was 15. I often did not eat in school because I didn't have parents to fill out the paperwork and I could not afford to buy the meals on my own. And so we need to be providing for them because I know personally what it's like to have to go without those things and then also be expected to perform well in school. And it's frankly impossible to do both.
Wozizak encourages all Vermonters to get involved in the campaign. We have that link provided on our website, mychamplainvalley.com. Go to their Get Involved page and sign the supporter card. Well, in sports, Friday night means in the fall means high school football. Coming up, highlights from all around the state in High School Huddle.
And it was a pretty great night for some football out there. Dry conditions were on the cooler side as well. We're going to hold on to the cooler weather, but a few rain chances might pop up in your weekend. We'll have a look at that extended forecast coming up.
It's fun. It's your first huddle.
First time.
Welcome, welcome.
Now, meteorologist Dylan DeBruin with your Sky Tracker forecast.
Good Friday night, everyone. Those clear skies have returned for us. Those temperatures a lot cooler. This time last night, we were still in the 70s. We're right near 59 degrees in Burlington. So it's really comfortable, feeling like fall out there. Most of the heavy rain now off towards our eastern portions of Maine. Still a few showers not out of the question for portions of New Hampshire. But over the last 24 hours, those temperatures have fallen, and we're also seeing a lot of rainfall has fallen across the region. Close to 1.5 inches in Plattsburgh, close to 2 inches in Bennington. Now, we're on the dry side even into tomorrow. Here a look at those temperatures now in the 50s and even going to fall into the upper 40s in a few locations tonight. Right near 51 in Middlebury and 57 degrees in Keene. 54 currently in Rutland. Our winds were very breezy to start today as well. Once that front moved through, things have calmed down quite a bit. 5 to 10 miles per hour through tonight. We're feeling more comfortable with those dew points in the 40s and 50s. But as those dew points and those temperatures get closer to each other, we are going to watch that potential for some patchy fog develop. And that's going to be the case into early tomorrow morning. As it lifts out of here, that's going to give way to some sunshine as we start the weekend. And then those cooler temperatures going to stick around as well. So as we move through tonight and into tomorrow, we are going to be kind of in between two storm systems. This front stalls off towards our east and another system rolls in from the west. As we head through tonight, though, any additional cloud cover out there should depart the region, and we will be on the mostly clear side of things. Those temperatures are going to fall back into the mid to lower 50s in the Champlain Valley. We will be in the upper 40s, though, in the higher terrain in the Adirondacks and the Northeast Kingdom. Into tomorrow, we're going to see most of us tapping into that sunshine, but as this front stalls off towards our east, could see a few showers in portions of New Hampshire. Future Tracker going to help us time this out. You can see through the afternoon, pretty nice out there. By around your dinner time, you can see maybe a few showers up towards Grafton County in New Hampshire, but it's still going to be a fairly nice forecast out there, even into the start of your Sunday. Most of those rainfall totals staying well off towards our east. So for your Saturday, temperature should be a little bit warmer than we saw this afternoon. I'm thinking mid to lower 70s. Winds will still be out of the south, but that does look to be one of the warmest days as we head through the next few. Muggy meter shows us fairly comfortable. Dew points may tick up a little bit tomorrow, but it's not going to be anything like we saw yesterday. Now, as we move into a later part of your weekend, Sunday, we could see a few showers develop along this frontal system. Those may last into your Monday, but it's a mainly dry 7-day forecast, and those temperatures are going to be even cooler and more fall-like as we head into your day on Tuesday, mid to even lower 60s for highs. As we head into the mid and late part of your 7-day forecast, you can see lots of sunshine and really no warm up. So if you're hoping for some warmer temperatures, really soak up the sun and enjoy those temperatures in the 70s tomorrow, because we're not going to see it for a while. Another thing to note, those overnight lows going to be in the 40s. If you do want the latest on that forecast, you can find it on our website, mychamplainvalley.com, and just click on that weather tab.
Dylan, look at that sunshine. That makes me smile. And tomorrow's forecast, 70-degree weather.
And I mean, the leaves are starting to turn too, so it's definitely looking, and we'll finally start to feel like fall out there.
Definitely. Those leaves are beautiful at this time of the year.
I know. Going to be great the next 2 weeks.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight. We'll send it over to Angelique with High School Huddle.
Yeah, Jolie, it's week 4 and we've got some good matchups tonight. Coming up, all the action from the gridiron in High School Huddle.
Local news that matters on Local 44 News.
to High School Huddle. We're in the full swing of things, and it's already time for week 4 of the Vermont High School football season. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. I'm Angelique Martinez.
And I'm Frank DeLuca. Only a couple unbeaten records left in Division I as we approach the season's halfway mark. We're kicking things off tonight with one of those squads trying to stay out of the loss column.
Yeah, Frank, the Hartford Hurricanes head to Middlebury to face the Tigers. The top-ranked Canes sit atop the standings at a perfect 3-0, facing the Tigers, who are currently in 7th place in D1. 0-0 early in the second quarter. Hartford quarterback Braden Trombley charges into the pile, and his O-line helps him slip through for 6. Hartford goes up 7-0. Early in the fourth quarter, it's a 7-2 Canes lead, and Middlebury is looking for some kind of spark, and they find it on the handoff to Nick Austin Neal. He turns on the Jets all by himself, make it a 65-yard run for number 5. And that sets up the Tigers in the red zone, looking to take the lead. Jackson Gillett looks to the corner of the end zone where 6'4" Penn Riney makes use of the height advantage to snag the touchdown as Middlebury takes down the top seed Hartford 15-7.
On the other end of Division I, Colchester hosts an interdivisional bout against Rice Memorial. The winless Lakers hoping their fate changes against the Green Knights. RMHS coming off a bye week and looking motivated. First quarter, CHS punting, Javon Nichols gets his mitts on it, and Rice recovers. On the ensuing possession, Rice QB Caden DeConnick takes the direct snap, tackled across the goal line, 6-0 after a missed PAT, and then just 4 minutes later, same story. DeConnick using those legs, doing some more damage in the red zone. Green Knights tack on 2 more, 14-zip, and on the other side of the ball, just not the Lakers' night. Bad snap gifts Rice another possession, down to the goal line. Imani Mbayu gets the call, and you can see why. He muscles his way in for another score, and D2 comes out on top. I'd call it an upset, but Rice was cooking from the start. Green Knights handle Colchester 34-7.
And over in South Burlington, the Seawolves are hosting the Bob Whites out of St. Albans. The Burlington-South Burlington Co-op looking for its first win of the season, facing BFA, who's currently 4th in the D1 standings. Midway through the first quarter, we're scoreless. BFA QB Cole Montaigne hands it off to Seneca DeRocher, who cuts outside and makes his way to the end zone. Bob White strike first. After the PAT, it's a 7-zip BFA lead. Second quarter, same score. Nick Kelly tosses it off to Tayshawn Metz, who is darting his way through the Bob White's defense. He's taken down right before the goal line. Now on the very next play, there's a quick handoff to the running back, Amari Frazier, and he is gone, extending for 6 points. Just like that, this game is tied up at 7 apiece. Now, final minutes of the first half, Bob White's knocking on the doorstep again. Montaigne gives it to Sean Beauregard, and he muscles his way into the end zone. St. Albans is on top 14-7. Now 50 seconds into the second half, BFA is at it again. Montaigne steps back and launches it off to Michael Telfer with an incredible catch. Bob White's having no trouble getting into the red zone tonight. On the very next play, RB Seneca DeRocher weaves through the Seawolves line and drags a few defenders into the end zone with him. And that's all it's going to take. BFA St. Albans wins it 20-14 over the Seawolves.
Pretty exciting one there. Now on to our final D1 showdown, a battle between the second and third place teams in the division as Rutland hosts St. Johnsbury, and RHS wins it 28-14. That improves to 4-0. RHS now the only undefeated team left in D1.
Well, that wraps up the first half of High School Huddle, but after the break, we'll round out Division II in Vermont. Stick with us. Well, welcome back to High School Huddle. We'll check in with results around the Green Mountain State from Division II. And there's no D3 games on the schedule tonight.
That's right. So checking in with Division II, undefeated U32 is back in action after its game was canceled last week. This week, Raiders go on the road to square up against Milton. U32 technically 3-0 after winning via forfeit 1 week ago. The 1-1 Yellow Jackets trying to rebound from their first loss. Popping into the fourth quarter, Milton up 4 on third down. Caden Burke looking end zone. Caleb Martin can't come down with it. Jackets punt. Then the first play of that drive, Hank Beeling gets the handoff, picks up some key blocks, and oh my, this kid is churning. I don't have the exact yardage, but it's a lot, and it's enough for the lead. 2-point try now goes to Cross Garibaldi, outside and into the end zone. U32 jumps in front here, 24-20. Later in the quarter, back in scoring position, guess who? You already know. Hank Beeling running with authority again. Complete momentum shift in the fourth, and the Raiders leave this one looking like a blowout. U32 wins it 40-20.
And we'll check in with the final game on the schedule tonight. The top-ranked team in Division II, Bellows Falls, took care of Fairhaven. The Terriers shut out the Slaters 56-0. And the Barrel Bowl between North Country and Linden was canceled due to COVID.
Wow, Bellows Falls looking like the real deal. And that's going to do it for our results from this Friday's high school football action in Vermont. So we close things out with our play of the week. And it's a play you just saw, but I mean, how could we not choose this? U32's Hank Beeling and his marathon scamper in the fourth quarter. Not only did this give the Raiders their first lead of the half, but it really felt like a backbreaker.
Unbelievable.
U32 outscores Milton 24-0 in the second half, and Angelique, that all came in the fourth quarter. It started with this play.
Hank Beeling was not messing around tonight.
Not at all.
All right, let's take a look at some high school games on the schedule for Saturday. We've got a D1 showdown in Manchester as Essex hits the road to meet Burr and Burton. And the MMU Cougars face the CVU Redhawks in Heinsberg. Mill River is on the road looking for its first win at Otter Valley. And Missisquoi was supposed to face Windsor, but that game has been canceled. Missisquoi released there was close contact with COVID-19, and there's not enough eligible players to participate. And Springfield is scheduled to meet Oxbow, and Woodstock is away at Poultney. Both of those games scheduled for 1 p.m. And for our final games on Saturday's slate, Mount Anthony is at Brattleboro, and Mount Abraham meets Spalding for a 6 p.m. kickoff.
Now moving our attention to the college ranks. Castleton is on the road against St. Lawrence at 4 o'clock. Middlebury hosts its home opener against Bates at 1 p.m. And we've got a good one in Northfield. Norwich hosting Endicott for its homecoming game. Kickoff there slated for 2 p.m.
And that's going to do it for week 4 of High School Huddle. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Be sure to tune in to High School Huddle every Friday night right here on Local 44. I'm Angelique Martinez.
And I'm Frank DeLuca. Thanks so much for watching. Join us on Saturday for even more local coverage. Have a great weekend.